Well, the latest developments in the Middle East are worrying. Well, first we start with the attack on the 1st of April on the Iranian consulate in Damascus. And for Iran, that was an attack on their sovereignty, the consulate being a part of the state of Iran. And they vowed to retaliate. So it was widely expected that Iran would retaliate. It was a question of how and when. But I think what this retaliation sets apart from previous ones, where the Iranians will attack, let's say, either American establishment or some pro-Israelis. This time it was a direct attack on Israel, and with a missile. So that is putting it at another level. Obviously, Israel is also preparing now to retaliate. The question of how and when is always open. In the military language, you don't announce when you're going to strike, but you strike when you think you're ready to strike and take the other side by surprise.
Absolutely. But I mean, a lot of leaders have pronounced themselves on the matter. We've heard China, France, Germany. I mean, Ukrainian President Zelensky also pronounced himself on the matter, of course, pretty much citing that this is a wake-up call for the free world. I mean, demonstrating, or rather a call for unity and peace. But will these voices have any impact if it did not have before?
Well, I think diplomacy always, when you deal with extreme states, you don't know what's going to happen. But when the two countries are going to war, they also know they have the backing of a superpower behind them. If the superpower, for example, doesn't want a full escalation of the fight, because in a war of that nature, no one will be sure of victory or the extent of the damage that each will cause to the other. So I think we are going to see a heightened diplomatic effort to try and calm the situation. And of course, in the absence of a direct communication between Iran and Israel. So Europe will have to play a role, and the U.S. always does, but of course they start from the premise of saying we're standing behind Israel. And if you start from that premise, you can't really be an honest broker in a conflict like that.
Just to take you back, Doctor, if we take a leaf out of the book, when you speak of the war of Ukraine and Russia, how will the geopolitics affect us? Well,
the geopolitics has got I think it has got many dimensions. Because nobody really thought, well, I shouldn't say that, but that we are going to have this kind of military confrontation between nations after the Second World War. But lo and behold, we are there. And through diplomatic efforts, organizations have the UN that has been created to preserve international peace and security actually failed us in the case of Ukraine and Israel. But while we're talking about the broad geopolitics, the sanction on Israel, the sanction on Russia, the same countries imposing sanction on Russia are also trading with Russia. So, and that is and then of course small states are told not to trade with Russia, while the bigger states themselves are trading with Russia. But that is the new geopolitics of economic interdependence. But to what extent will reason prevail so that there is an end to the war? There seems to be no decisive action by the international community. to bring an end to that war.